In my leadership development plan, I have identified and reflected critically on my own leadership style and referenced current leadership theories as they parallel with my abilities and philosophies in the field of athletic administration. This video presentation will be an outline of the paper I wrote on my leadership development plan. Who am I as a leader? My desire to lead is more than my want to follow. If there's an opportunity to lead in any scenario, whether it be in my personal life or in the workplace, I tend to take it. With regards to my experience in the field of athletic administration, I've progressed through the stages of followership and now just shaping my leadership style. In my first job in athletic administration, I was an intern, and my title was athletic site supervisor, which sounds meatier than the job description really was. Essentially, the job was keep your mouth closed and eyes open, and it was an opportunity for me to learn valuable leadership skills in a professional environment in the field that I had chosen. I loved it, and from that moment on, I was determined to take steps forward to better myself as a follower and take on more progressive responsibilities. My first real opportunity in a formal leadership role was as a head youth soccer coach for a soccer club here in Portland, Maine. In this position, like all head coaching positions, I was given the autonomy to lead and find my own direction for the program, of course, keeping with the core values of the soccer club. I was super excited about the opportunity because I have a certain fascination for coaching. I believe the art of coaching a sports team is the ultimate example of what may be effective leadership. There's a certain level of emotional intelligence a coach must have in order to develop a trusting relationship with his or her team. The ability to get a team to buy into one brand and work together to accomplish a goal, whether it's big or small, is a leadership trait shared among the greatest coaches in history and the best and most effective leaders in any organization. There's a certain level of leadership at all levels of coaching. From my experience, coaching at the collegiate level and above is more about managing egos and personalities rather than developing technical player skill sets. At the youth level, it's more about developing a passion and making it fun and being a mentor for young athletes to find the motivation to pursue an athletic career. Nonetheless, it's essential that an effective leader utilize a blend of leadership styles no matter the workplace setting, and these are the skills I'm beginning to develop in my young coaching and administrative career. What is my relationship to power, authority, and knowledge? I just recently accepted the position of Assistant Director of Athletics at Southern Maine Community College, and my relationship to power, authority, and knowledge has shifted with my responsibilities in a more intensive leadership role. With power comes a greater sense of authority and the need for a higher level of knowledge. I'm expected in my job to be versatile in the tasks and the groups that I lead. In my position, I'll be leading student athletes, coaches, and other groups of the student body, as well as I work closely with the director of athletics and other department heads on campus. So in any given day, I'll be both a follower and a leader, depending on the task. Thus, my relationship with power, authority, and knowledge is to apply them appropriately to the group that I'm leading or working with. How open am I to critical feedback? As a young athletic administrator especially, I think it's essential that I be open to critical feedback from those who are experienced in the field. The administrative skills in this field aren't learned through a textbook. Rather, they're learned through experience, and the ability to accept critical feedback will only help you succeed. Through my experience, I've responded well to critical feedback from my supervisors and other authoritative figures. However, one area I must improve on is accepting critical feedback from other followers, as I know good followership is a result of good leadership. And in most cases, the most practical feedback a leader may receive is from his or her followers. To what degree am I comfortable modeling, learning, and being a leader? Not only have I made athletics my career, but it's also my passion. And once you have developed a passion for something, then you will find the desire to learn. Something I enjoy most about working in athletics is that no day is ever the same. Athletic administrators who I've worked with have told me they'll face scenarios that they've never seen before. every day. That leads me to believe that athletics is a field that is ever changing. Whether it's technology, concussion protocols, or compliance regulations, it's important that the athletic director dedicate time to being a learner, to inform his or her administrative or coaching staff, and to not fall behind in making the athletics program the best it can be. What is my metaphor for leading? My metaphor for leading, again, is coaching. Coaching doesn't have to take place in an athletic field, but can be utilized in all aspects of life. Phil Jackson, the Zen master and former championship basketball coach, once said, "Effective leaders help followers realize their potential by empowering others to share leadership." Again, what I find most fascinating about both leadership and coaching is that it's not an exact science. There's no handbook that tells you the leadership style that will be 100% effective for any given circumstance. Jackson also described his view on leadership and coaching as an act of controlled improvisation. So it's up to the coach to be adaptive in altering his or her leadership style to match the followership traits of the team to find success year after year. As a coach, you're going to inherit or recruit a different team year in and year out, and these teams will have new personalities and different followership traits that the coach is responsible to adapt to. This way of thinking closely aligns with a contingency theory that states the effectiveness of leadership is based upon the situation. Group dynamics. Working in athletics and most organizations is something like being a member of a sports team. It requires a cooperative effort from all to achieve a certain task. I work well in groups, but have found myself to be more productive working alone. And developing relationships to the ability to effectively delegate is something that I must improve on. There exist different leadership group styles in Division I and Division III athletics. Division III is a level I want to work in for many reasons, but for one, it best fits my leadership style. At the Division I level, there appears to be more delegating and less relationship building. Based on my experience in Division III, transformational and participative leadership styles are best suited in leading many different types of followers. To what degree do I listen to and hear others? In completing the leadership self-assessment protocol, I scored the lowest on statements that had to do with empathy. It was only sometimes that I empathize with others and am able to see and feel things from their perspective. From the empathy standpoint, I believe the athletic director or a leader should understand or have worked in every position within the department. I've been fortunate to have gained experience in many different facets of an athletic department, including sports information, coaching, and administration, that will help me better understand and empathize with followers working in these positions as I strive to become an athletic director. Again, everything we do in athletics is based on relationships. By reference to the contingency theory, to think you will be the best leader you can be without utilizing at least a couple of leadership styles and depending on your relationships with others is simply unrealistic. Your Rolodex of contacts and your ability to make and develop relationships within the community and with other professionals in the field directly correlates to your success as an athletic administrator. How do I go about making decisions? In most cases, I utilize the participative leadership theory, which is a managerial style that invites input from employees on all company decisions. The approach is slower, but it has several advantages in its application to the athletic administrative setting. The success of an athletic department is dependent on a cooperative effort from all staff members, and ideally the athletic director wants his or her coaching staff to be ambassadors for the program and represent the institution consistent to its mission and core values. Thus, coaches and staff members will more readily accept department policies and decisions that are reached by a general consensus. Employees that are given a voice will feel personally liable for the success of the company or the department. Participative leadership will also increase staff and student-athlete retention as it gives members of the department a chance to be active in determining the future success of the athletics programs. Dealing with change. Some people just can't accept change and others thrive on it. Some hunker down and try to avoid it. Others face it head on and embrace it and climb up the next rung of the ladder because of it. Change is inevitable, and if you're negative about it, you'll pass those feelings on to those you manage and make the change more difficult for everyone. I try to keep a positive attitude and focus on seeing how the change can benefit myself, my team, and the department as a whole. It's important to focus on the big picture and make others see the same. Effective leaders show that positive planning involves considering alternatives, and I try to be flexible in my leadership style to solve and help others adapt to change. Also, an effective leader leads by looking forward and knowing where potential changes may occur and the possible effects it may have on the department or the institution as a whole will make change more easy to adapt. Again, change can affect everyone differently, and as a leader, I try to not lose sight of the fact that people around me are thinking and feeling human beings. It's important that I, as a leader, truly listen to my team and offer support either by leading from the front or walking with them when the situation calls for a more subtle approach. Goal setting and improvements. Through the self-reflection and self-assessment protocol, I've identified my strengths and weaknesses as a leader. My strengths include developing trust, perseverance, planning, strategizing, and envisioning. The weaknesses of my leadership abilities are empathizing, delegating, and persuading. As a transformational leader, or the idea that I would like to become a transformational leader, I'm never satisfied with the status quo. I recognize that my abilities as a leader correlate with the level of success I'll find in athletics and in other parts of my life. And in order to advance my career and make those around me better and better followers, I have set goals over the next 12 months in my current position to improve on these weaknesses. Thank you.